How does a single queen bee determine the sex of each egg she lays? She stands on a honeycomb, surrounded by cells of two distinct physical sizes. In these smaller cells, she will produce female worker bees to sustain the colony. This physical choice determines whether a female worker or a male drone emerges later. In the larger cells, she lays eggs that will develop into male drones. These male drones develop from unfertilized eggs through a process called haplodiploidy. Haplodiploidy means unfertilized haploid eggs normally develop into perfectly functional males. In contrast, fertilized diploid eggs normally develop into female worker bees. The queen bee must actively decide when to release sperm to fertilize each individual egg. This fertilization gate is managed at the exact moment of oviposition inside the cell. She carries millions of stored sperm inside a specialized organ called the spermatheca. She acquired this lifetime supply of sperm during her early mating flights. She can preserve these sperm cells alive for several years within her body. To fertilize an egg, only a remarkably tiny number of sperm are released. When laying drone eggs, the queen completely halts this sperm release mechanism. This leaves the egg unfertilized, setting its developmental path to become male. But how does she perceive the physical structure of the cell she enters? Scientists discovered that her forelegs act as precise biological calipers. The physical span of her forelegs measures the cell diameter in milliseconds. When the span feels wider, it triggers a different sensory loop in her nervous system. Her elbowed antennae also gather critical tactile information about cell depth. This combination of sensory signals guides the queen bee's internal physiological state prior to egg laying. But cell geometry is not a simple, automatic mechanical trigger for her. Controlled experiments show she can lay worker eggs even without comb cells. This proves her decision-making process is highly complex and multi-layered. Three competing theories attempt to explain her exact fertilization mechanism. The first theory highlights active muscular control over her spermathecal valve. This valve would actively open to release sperm for worker-bound eggs. And it remains tightly closed to ensure drone eggs remain unfertilized. The second theory focuses on passive fluid mechanics during egg passage. As the egg moves, physical pressure changes inside her reproductive tract. This passive pressure might naturally draw sperm out without active muscles. The third theory combines both tactile sensory gating and mechanical valve pressure. Yet, the exact biological balance among these three forces remains unresolved. Because we cannot view the internal fertilization event without disrupting it. We must infer the mechanics by looking at the resulting brood pattern. But the queen is not the only individual shaping the colony's demographic outcome. The worker bees represent a second, powerful layer of reproductive control. Worker bees actively build physical structures that help limit the queen's choices. If the workers construct only small worker cells, she cannot lay drone eggs easily. Her egg-laying behavior is physically constrained by the existing wax architecture. But workers can also influence which eggs survive after they are laid.
Workers inspect laid eggs constantly, using subtle chemical and tactile cues.
They can identify eggs that do not match the cell size perfectly. This screening process is called worker policing, a vital colony filter. Worker policing behavior is particularly intense when worker bees themselves attempt to reproduce. Unmated workers can lay unfertilized eggs, which also develop into males. However, other worker bees will quickly detect these unauthorized eggs. Workers will systematically eat or remove worker-laid male eggs to maintain order. This ensures the queen remains the primary mother of all colony drones. Yet, another genetic layer complicates this simple sexual division of labor. This is the complementary sex determiner gene, abbreviated as CSD. The CSD gene exists in dozens of different variants within a population. When the queen's egg carries two different CSD variants, it becomes female. These differing variants are inherited from both the queen and her mates. But what happens when the inherited CSD variants match perfectly? If they match, a fertilized diploid egg develops into a male drone instead. These individuals are known as diploid males, a genetic deviation. Diploid males represent a major reproductive cost to the honeybee colony. Because these diploid males are sterile and cannot contribute to colony work. To prevent this waste, worker bees have evolved a secondary screening system. The same diploid male larva A emits different chemical pheromones early in development. The same worker A detects these abnormal pheromones within hours of hatching. Once identified, the workers will immediately remove the abnormal male larva.
By cannibalizing or removing it, they recycle valuable proteins for the colony.
This selective removal creates the characteristic patchy larval distribution pattern we often see. A patchy brood pattern is a visual testament to these multiple genetic conflicts. It shows that the queen's initial choice is constantly filtered by worker responses. The colony works as a superorganism, correcting individual genetic mismatched errors. The queen must continue laying to replace the lost reproductive output. She balances her stored sperm carefully, adjusting to seasonal environmental demands. In spring, the colony needs a large number of drones for mating.
She will lay dozens of unfertilized eggs in rapid, rhythmic succession. During this phase, she rapidly depletes no sperm from her spermatheca.
But as summer ends, the worker bees shift the comb construction focus.
Workers will actively chew away drone comb to prepare for winter survival. This forces the queen to return exclusively to laying fertilized female worker eggs. The queen adapts instantly, adjusting her sperm gating valve to the new geometry.
Each successful fertilization event secures the next generation of winter workers. A continuous cycle of coordination between queen, workers, and genetic filters.
So, does the queen bee truly decide the sex of her offspring?
The word decide implies an active, conscious choice made by her alone.
But biology reveals a highly integrated, automated physiological response system instead.
She responds to the physical cues built by her daughters, the worker bees. And those daughters actively police and filter her reproductive output continuously.
Behind them all, CSD genetics can still redirect fertilized eggs into males.
The queen bee is the physical gateway for fertilization, not an absolute ruler. Her sex control is a beautifully bounded gate, shaped by the entire colony. A perfect example of collective intelligence operating at every level of life.
Subscribe to explore more fascinating mysteries of the animal kingdom with us.